Talk a little bit about all these three things today, just the products, the eating plan, and the active lifestyle. So first of all, the products. Your products are incredible over here in Southeast Asia. I'd like to thank our scientists, okay, I'm part of that team, for making these incredible products for you. These products are great. The shakes are great. Jumpstart is great. It mixes really nicely over here. And all the ingredients in these products are so good. So let's talk about these products. First of all, Jumpstart. So we designed Jumpstart because when people start any kind of weight loss or weight management or body shaping system, they want to see immediate results. That's kind of the life that we live in, right? I mean, if we don't have Wi-Fi access or phone access for about a minute, we start freaking out, right? I mean, we need to see something immediately. And same thing with body shaping. And so we designed this with these ingredients. The red orange is incredible for metabolism, pomegranate, powerful antioxidant. The saffron is one of my favorites. It helps with appetite and satiety and mood benefits. In fact, that's why a lot of people, they come up to me, they're like, Tanner, I just feel so great while I'm on Jumpstart. I'm like, yeah, this is saffron. You feel good. It enhances your mood. So, in fact, when you look at the studies of saffron, it's a well-studied ingredient. There are studies where they give saffron to a group of ladies. I believe there were 60 people in this study, and 100% of the people in the study said that their appetite was suppressed. They didn't have the same cravings, the same desire to eat snacks and other foods. And so, it's a very powerful ingredient. And then this is the prickly pear. We don't use the prickly portion. We use the extract of the fruit. But that's incredible for blood sugar and slimming appearance. In fact, when you look at the studies, you can see a difference after 7 days with prickly pear. So very, very powerful blend here. Tr90 complex. This is a great product too. This one was specifically designed to help with a healthy metabolism and supporting lean muscle. And the way in which it supports lean muscle is mostly through the thermogenic effect and the metabolism supporting benefits of these ingredients. So when you look over here, the red orange, fantastic for metabolism. In fact, let me share a quick study with you. I like studies, so all of our scientists do. We read these studies. And so there was a study that was done that compared red orange to regular navel oranges. So we'll call it the red orange versus the orange. In this study, they wanted to see the difference in terms of metabolism and weight and gene expression. And what they saw in this study is that the red orange was able to attenuate the weight gain, was able to shrink the fat cells, and had incredible positive changes on gene expression, all with this red orange. It has, in fact, the color comes from what are called anthocyanins. They're pigments that cause that color, powerful antioxidants, but also metabolism boosters. In any case, what do you think they saw with the orange? No difference. No difference at all. So the red orange had all of these dramatic benefits versus the orange, where to a lay consumer you'd think, well, they're both called oranges, they must be the same, right? But it's a good example that shows that very small differences can make a huge impact in terms of bioactivity and benefits and how it works inside the body. We have these bioflavonoids, very powerful ingredients. The whole grape, this one was included specifically. It's not in all the markets around the globe, it's in yours. And this one is really good for exercise performance. So if anyone goes to the gym or works out and you just feel better after working out, you're not quite as sore, you can recover a little bit better, and you just, you run a little bit better, you're not quite as tired, like those kinds of things. Some of that has to do with this whole grape ingredient. Cayenne pepper. You eat a lot of spicy food over here? Yes. Yeah. I eat some spicy food too. It's good. Well, this is a spice that has some really nice metabolism benefits. This is onion. Do you know what we get from onion? What's the key active for our Tr90? Quercetin. Good antioxidant, but also metabolism supporter. And then green tea, of course. We know that green tea has a nice thermogenic effect. And so all these ingredients combined, they really support this healthy metabolism. And if you think about that, in terms of weight loss, if you're trying to lose weight and eat less and look trim and thin, if you can support a better healthy metabolism and maximize fat burning in the body, it has a natural sparing effect on lean muscle. Okay? And if you can spare lean muscle and support lean muscle, it's going to be beneficial in the long run, because that's your metabolic engine. That's your biggest contributor to your resting metabolic rate, which is pretty much more calories that you burn there compared to exercise and the thermic effect of food. In fact, did you know that? Whenever you eat food, your body burns calories. It takes burning calories to actually process the food. So sometimes I joke, the more you eat, the more you burn, right? Yeah. So we still should eat in moderation. But so Tr90 control. This is a great ingredient. It's all about mood and willpower. I actually believe a lot of people who start a weight loss system have a lot of willpower. You know, they're really trying hard. They want to succeed. They want to see great results. But the challenge is that once people start to eat less, what happens? What happens with hunger and appetite?
They become hangry.
They become hangry, right? They stress eat. Their body is stressed out. It's freaking out a little bit. It says, what are you doing to me, right? Why are you making me suffer? And the person inside is saying, well, I want the results. I want to look good. I want to look, thin. I want to look healthy, right? I want to have a storm-like body, right? I want to look good. But the body is fighting against some of those changes. And a lot of that has to do with just the mood and the willpower, where I believe people have it, but it's a struggle to keep with it and to be committed. That's why we designed this product. And in fact, what's interesting about our clinical studies is most people didn't complain of any hunger, or if they had any, it was very minimal. So just controlling cravings, improving mood. These ingredients, the cocoa, people know cocoa for its association with weight loss and with appetite. Pomegranate, tart cherry. Isn't that a pretty picture? Tart cherry? Yeah, I found it on Google. So. Tart cherry is also great for exercise too. There's a lot of nice muscle recovery benefits and some improved ability not to feel quite as sore with the tart cherry. So once again, supporting the benefits of activity and exercise here. And then the theanine. So theanine also comes from green tea. Maybe a cool thing to understand about theanine is that it all comes from the same green tea leaf, but when you process green tea, you either get the polyphenols or the theanine, right? They kind of go in different directions. We actually harvest our green tea at different times of the year to be able to maximize the harvesting period of when it's highest in polyphenols for our tea green product, and when it's highest in theanine for other products like Tr90. We also use young leaves. Everyone's so excited about this green tea stuff. So we use young leaves because if green tea matures too much, if it gets too old, it loses some of its active compounds like the theanine, but especially the polyphenols. And so harvesting it at the right time and for the right purpose makes a big difference. The other neat thing is typical methods for harvesting green tea use these big, huge mowers. I don't know if you've seen them. So they have, usually in China, where a lot of the green tea comes from. Ours actually does come from there too, from the region that supports some of the highest quality green tea in the entire world. And we trust the stuff that we get. We test it. We trust our vendors, but we trust ourselves a lot more. So that's why we have our labs and invest in all the testing and screening and criteria that we do. But the point I want to make is they have these huge fields and these huge mowers that just, right, mows it all up. So mows up all the green tea and everything else with it. The vast majority of our green tea is actually hand-picked. So it's very different. It's a very careful selection process, making sure that we're selecting the highest quality green tea leaves that are young, picked at the right time of the year to be able to put inside of our products. Just a few insights into not all ingredients are created equal, right? Not all green tea out there is equal. In fact, a lot of the green tea, if you were to go to a marketplace and just buy it off the shelves, they'll make a lot of the same claims that we do. Did you know that? They'll say it's a great thermogenic booster, great antioxidant, great DNA protector. And if that were sitting right next to our product, people would be thinking, well, why am I going to pay a little extra for this product, right? What's the difference? They both offer the same benefits. But in reality, do they? No. They don't. It's very different. The difference is in the details. It's in the active components that are providing the benefits that we're looking for. So a green tea that's just crushed up and put inside of a product is very different in quality and benefits and potentially safety compared to what we offer, okay?
We have success quality guarantee.
We do. I wish I had a slide to show that, but you know, selecting the best ingredients, getting them from the right sources, it really does make a big difference. You know, some companies, they'll have a supply manager who gets a few quotes from some vendors, and they'll pick something, maybe the cheapest, maybe the one that looks good, put it inside their product and make their claims and be on their way. With our company, we have a whole team of PhD scientists, a few in particular that actually do go to the fields where we get the ingredients, bring them back to our labs and test them to make sure that, you know, the source that we get is high quality, looking at all the different ones, because we've learned over the years. Sometimes vendors will tell you great things to sell you the product, the ingredients, so you can put it in your product. But we've learned that we need to test them in our labs, you know, for the actives, make sure that they absorb. That's why we invest so much in our labs. So in any case, success quality process, it's our guarantee. Tr90 Trim Shake, I love your shakes over here. The vanilla and chocolate. Who likes vanilla? Who likes chocolate? Who likes both? Yeah, I like both. No strawberry? You know, I probably shouldn't say this, but I will. So we're working on newer shakes in the future. Way in the future. Don't get too excited yet. But we're always working in our labs, just trying to, you know, we don't create a system or products and just let it sit there for 10 or 20 years, right? We know that consumers evolve, demands evolve, and our products need to be cutting edge. And so we keep, maybe strawberry, maybe you'll see it in the future. No promises. But I forgot what I was going to say. Your shakes are great. See, there you go. Just throw fresh strawberries in. But either way, so your shakes, they're very good, right? About 20 to 19 grams of protein. That's a really good, healthy serving of protein. In addition to healthy carbohydrates and fiber. Fiber, do you know what fiber is good for? Yeah. Keeps people full, but it also slows the release of sugar into the bloodstream. So there is some added sugar in the shakes in the form of fructose, so fruit sugar, but most of the sugar is actually naturally occurring in your shakes, and it's lactose. Lactose is a very good sugar, especially for weight loss and weight management, because it has a very low insulin response.
It slows down the glycemic.
Yes, so it's kind of a low glycemic index sugar. But a slower insulin response or insulin curve is very beneficial because insulin, at least too much insulin and spikes, can have negative impacts on weight loss and weight management. It can actually signal some fat storing activity in the body, and so the sugars are really good. They're there by design to keep people full and satiated and consistent energy, along with the fiber and the protein and some healthy fats there. So it's really a nice shake, very creamy, very tasty. Oh, I have these shakes. I have access to all the shakes in the world, and I take your shakes, so you're very lucky to have these. Let's see here. So the point I want to make here, and you may have seen this before, but this is actually a preclinical study that we did in mice, okay? And in this particular study, we were looking at gene expression changes related to fat storage and fat metabolism mostly. And you can see here that we have a lean control, okay? And it has this gene expression profile versus a high-fat control. So this is a high-fat fed diet. And what we did in this particular study is we gave another group of mice the Tr90 ingredient blend, and we held their weight constant. That's a very important point because we wanted to make sure that the products on their own could help to support healthy gene expression in the body, okay? And more lean gene expression in the body. And so we had to hold the weight constant to see if the products really do have that impact. and you can see, and you've probably seen it before, but the fact that the weight stayed the same, but the ingredients were able to alter gene expression in such a dramatic fashion was something we were very excited to see. So that's an important thing to distinguish here. Eating plan. Who likes to eat food? I do. Food's really good, right? We eat to live, and some people say we live to eat, right? Food, it's nourishment for the body, for the mind. We need it, but sometimes we overeat, and we eat too much. And one of the key principles behind Tr90's eating plan is we wanted it based on science, and we wanted to build it based on sustainable eating patterns, okay? Sometimes, for some people, it is a learning phase to learn the right foods to eat and the right portions of these foods to eat. I tell people they can still enjoy a lot of the foods that they love. You know, Tr90 isn't so restrictive that, you know, only a small group of people can do it. We wanted to create this flexible eating plan that a lot of people could do, pretty much anybody can do. And it's based on these simple core concepts. Lean protein, right? So salmon, shrimp, chicken, beef, right? Lean protein, vegetables and fruits. For these, we prefer vegetables, being at least half. That's my recommendation. Vegetables are very nutrient dense, very rich sources of fiber, and usually low in calories, and usually very healthy for you. But fruits are good too. Fruits, they make the shake taste really nice. Add some strawberries to your vanilla shake. It'll taste really good. And then a small portion of whole grains. Whole grains are preferred to simple grains, mostly because of the glycemic index and the other nutrients that you find in whole grains versus just simple grains. So like whole rice versus white rice, there's going to be a difference in terms of the glycemic response and the nutrients you get. So you can still have rice on Tr90, okay? But the portion size is going to be a little bit smaller than typical Asian portions. So that being said, we have a simple eating plan. I already kind of covered this a little bit, but it's based on these hand sizes. And it takes a little bit of time to learn, to estimate, you know, how much a fist is, or a palm, or a cup. But people learn very quickly. And the point I want to make here,
These came back from a search.
yes, is that this is based on research. Thank you so much. That's exactly what I wanted to say. It's very simple. Anyone can do it. And the point I want to make here is that we're not demanding perfection with the eating plan. I understand that, and I've actually spoken to people who do Tr90 and maybe they're not seeing the results they want to, but maybe it's just because they're so stressed out, they put so much pressure on themselves to be perfect. You know, there's no such thing as a perfect diet, right? I mean, we have chaotic and hectic lifestyles. We're on the move, you know? We can't eat a freshly prepared meal at home for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? And so we understand there are some challenges, some differences. We want people to strive toward this in these right portions, but nobody's perfect. And so don't stress out if there's that piece of something, chocolate, that you really, really want. In fact, the stress of not eating it is probably worse than just eating it. So if you need to eat that piece of chocolate, a scientist gave you permission to do so. Okay? You're welcome, everybody. No, you don't feel guilty. That's the thing is, if you feel guilty, it brings on the stress in the body. And the stress is probably the number one enemy of weight loss. When people are stressed out, they overeat. When people are stressed out, their glucose and insulin levels they don't work properly. In fact, cortisol. So cortisol is secreted. This is a cool science thing. So when you get stressed out, cortisol is released into the bloodstream, right? And cortisol is a fight or flight hormone inside the body, right? So you want a lot of cortisol if a grizzly bear is attacking you, right? Because you want that extra energy. And so what happens is these proteins and fats and carbs, they all start breaking down for immediate energy into amino acids, into glucose from glycogen, the storage form, right? And the fatty acids, right? Into the triglycerides. And in any case, bottom line is everything starts breaking down to give you immediate energy to fight or flight that grizzly bear, right? Run away as fast as you can or try to fight it if you're crazy. But what happens is if you have too much, and then it should go away, right? Then the cortisol levels go back to normal, you live a normal life, you're good, you're healthy, you're strong, right? So that the next time the grizzly bear comes, cortisol goes up, everything breaks down so you can run immediately. In fact, calcium actually leaches from your bone when you're stressed out. Did you know that? Cortisol allows that to happen because you need calcium in the bloodstream to be able to allow muscles to contract. That's why stress is actually really bad for bone health in the long term. Yeah. See, all this cool. This isn't in my slides, but the point. So cortisol is good. It's a fight or flight response. It's good for immediate short-term stress. But what happens is if we're stressed out all the time, or if we're stressed out too much and the body doesn't respond in the same way, what happens is cortisol actually has the opposite function in many ways to insulin. Okay? Insulin is secreted when we get sugar in the bloodstream to be able to grab that sugar and put it inside the cells so that we can use it for energy or store it as glycogen. Or if we have too much sugar, then it's stored in our fat cells or liver cells as fatty acids, right? Or as fat. But what happens is, so insulin is trying to store stuff, cortisol is trying to break down stuff, and so they kind of fight against each other. And so that can have negative effects for someone trying to lose weight, because that can potentially lead to insulin sensitivity, where insulin just doesn't know what to do in the body because it says, hey, I'm trying to store stuff for energy, but all this stress in my body is saying, break it down and use it up, right? And so your body gets confused. It makes it very difficult in terms of metabolism and appetite to be able to lose weight effectively. So,
No stress when you have to lose weight.
no stress, no pressure. Trust in the system, and if you need to eat the chocolate, eat the chocolate. And don't be stressed about eating the chocolate. Just don't eat the whole chocolate pie, right? Just a small portion, and you'll be okay. So, that was a fun tangent. Protein science and Tr90. I think we kind of know this, but protein offers some really nice advantages over high carbohydrate diets. One of the main advantages is when you look at the literature, people who go on these high carbohydrate diets, they typically lose about the same amount of weight as a moderate to high protein diet. Did everybody know that? When you look at the studies? As long as you reduce calories, the weight loss is very similar, but the big difference is how much muscle you maintain. And how much of that weight loss comes from muscle versus fat. So in the high carbohydrate diets, typically you lose weight, but about 40% of it is muscle loss. And that's a lot of muscle loss, okay? This is your engine for burning calories and keeping you slim and trim and keeping the weight off. And so if you lose a lot of that metabolic engine, if you think about it, when you lose that weight and you go back to eating what you did before to maintain that weight, you're now probably going to gain the weight because you lost a lot of that metabolic engine and that metabolic burn. That's why it makes it difficult to keep it off if you lose a lot of muscle. Now, if we look at the moderate and healthy protein diets, which is going to be something similar to Tr90, I actually don't call Tr90 a high protein diet. Keto? Yeah, it's high protein, very high fat, pretty much no sugar, no carbohydrates. I mean, very, very limited. You'll see similar weight loss to a moderate protein diet. You really will. The big difference is sustainability. A lot of people have a hard time sustaining not eating sugar and carbohydrates. It's the body's fuel. It's actually the primary, the preferred fuel for your brain. And so a lot of people just struggle with being able to maintain that long term. So that's why we designed Tr90. It's not about accelerating weight loss or more weight loss than other plans. It's about sustained weight loss and body shaping. That was the whole goal. In fact, when you look at literature, anything that doesn't focus on long-term benefits, to me, is mostly a waste. So you have all of these other diets. You have a lot of fat diets, right? There's lemon juice diets. There's detox diets. There's grapefruit diets.
Intermittent fasting.
Intermittent
It's a
fasting.
big one right now.
It is a big one.
And I thought how do I deal with the objections of Tr90?
Well, do you know what? You say, there's a lot of diets out there, right? Tr90 is the best. You tell them it's based on science. And it's based not only on weight loss, but it's based on sustained weight loss and supporting lean muscle. Intermittent fasting, the big challenge with that is that people can't sustain it. When you look at scientific studies behind it, and there's so many different definitions to it, right? Some people believe that it's fasting 1 day a week. Some people do it 2 days a week. Some people with intermittent fasting actually do it alternate day fasting. Some go completely away from food during those days. Some people keep their calories under about 500 to 600 calories on those fasting days. So there's a lot of variation in what is meant by intermittent fasting, but yeah, the challenge is, who likes to go a whole day without food? I don't. I like food. And it's hard with today's diets and lifestyles. It's very hectic. So a lot of people, one of the challenges is that it's not sustainable. The other challenge is that a lot of people have very low energy levels. So it doesn't support physical activity, which helps to support lean muscle, which helps to support long-term benefits. The other big challenge, well, I could go on and on, but just tell people, Tr90 is the best. We designed it as a holistic system. We designed it to be sustainable because it's about these portions, it's about the right foods. People can still enjoy carbohydrates. People can still enjoy lean protein and fruits and vegetables, so they can eat healthy and lose the weight and look trim and slim.
People look younger in Tr90 because it's anti-age deodorant.
Yes, absolutely. So, we could answer questions all day, but I should probably move on. Active lifestyle. The point I want to make here is just find something you love and do it. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. My preference is a combination of aerobic and anaerobic activity. Aerobic activity is like running on a treadmill. That's good. You actually burn more calories in the moment running on a treadmill compared to lifting weights. But lifting weights is also good because it helps muscles to break down and then to repair and grow and build and be supported. And you actually burn more calories after you work out with resistance training. So those are things like push-ups and sit-ups and bars and weights and stuff like that. And women, don't be afraid of going to the gym or not going to the gym and working out in your house and lifting weights. It's not going to turn you into Wolverine. It's going to make you slim. It's going to burn more calories, and it's going to support lean muscle. Okay? So, and in fact, you need energy to work out. A lot of people think the reason you work out during a weight loss program is to accelerate weight loss and lose more weight. You don't. When you look at the studies, there is a very non-significant or very small correlation between weight loss and exercise. Okay? Because you think about it, when you go to the gym or you work out or you go play some sports, what do you do when you get home? You eat, right? You just burned a lot of calories and your body says, feed me. Well, you're building lean muscle, but that's the key. With typical diets, you lose a lot of the muscle. And so the reason we wanted to provide enough energy is for people to actually, go to the gym or work out or just take the stairs instead of the elevator. Although I think this is like 15 floors up, right? 25. Maybe take the elevator for this event. But right, just get out there, be active, because it's all about supporting lean muscle. In fact, that's why I tell people the most important time in your life to actually work out, especially resistance training, is while you're reducing calories and trying to lose weight and look slim. Because it's all about maintaining lean muscle. That's what it's all about. I mean, it provides a lot of other benefits, and I could tell you about all these and many others, but I won't. Exercise is super good for you, anti-aging effects. Some researchers believe it's actually one of the greatest anti-aging strategies out there. Just exercise, right? Keeps the mind sharp, keeps the body sharp, heart, circulation, blood pressure. I mean, we could go on and on. But in terms of weight loss, the reason people work out is to maintain muscle, not to lose more weight, okay? Tr90 study, this is a great study that was conducted. In fact, Steve Wood, the PhD director of Pharmanex R&D, he presented the results of this study, and I'll go quickly through this. I think you've seen some of these before. You can see body composition changes after 90 days. I believe it was a 6.8% drop in body fat. So in other words, this means that most of the weight loss was coming from body fat in our Tr90 clinical study. Here you can see that there were reductions in waist, hip, arm, and what I call cankle circumference. It's ankle, but centimeters lost. You can see some dramatic improvements here. And it varies a little bit by gender, right? Men tend to gain more of the weight in the tummy area, women more in the hips area. So there are genetic differences there, and we see that in our clinical as well. But this to me is the most important thing. So there was minimal food cravings and low levels of hunger. I mean, just imagine this group going on the Tr90 plan. So they're eating less food, they're eating the right portions, they have good energy, and they're not complaining of being hungry all the time. They're not suffering like some other diet plans that I won't mention, right? They're not suffering during this progress or this process. They're enjoying the ride, they're enjoying the results. They're satisfied with the progress and what they're seeing. And typically in weight loss, this is an industry dominated by just yo-yo dieting, but also by jumping from one program to the next, right? Because someone tries intermittent fasting, they say, okay, it worked a little bit, but then I gained the weight back. Let me try something different, right? And they just jump from program to program to program. The fact that a lot of people like this better, in fact, it was over 80% liked it better than other programs they tried before. That to me is a testament that Tr90 works, that the gene expression science works, that controlling appetite and metabolism and supporting muscle, it works not only to see results, but to actually have people enjoy the system. So I think I'm running out of time here, but let me finish up really quickly. I think you've seen this gene expression here before. This is related to appetite, but you can see after Tr90, after 90 days, this is a clinical study in humans. We can see some nice gene expression changes. Okay? Oh my goodness. I have another product to talk about.